Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my impact review on the heels of Bound for Glory. I'm going to have my thoughts on Bound for Glory at the end of the review. I know I did a review on the show, but I have something extra to add. Now, we know that TNA really isn't focused on the product right now. We know they're not, because they don't even know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So as far as they're concerned, they're just putting something out that might be interesting. This show wasn't 100% bad. I'm going to say this right now. I know people are not going to like the show because it's not that detailed. It doesn't really have a lot of substance. Really doesn't. But it was done at least enough that, well, you could think, well, hey, they're not really focusing 100% on the product, but this part of the product is not that bad. But I'm not giving them a pass. This wasn't a good show at all. But let's have the first match, which is Havoc versus Madison Rayne. What upset me about Bound for Glory was that Havoc didn't have a chance to say anything. They didn't give her a promo segment. They didn't give her an interview. They gave nothing. They gave Velvet Sky an interview, but they didn't give Havoc an interview. This is what frustrates me, that TNA is very dumb. They got a monster heel here that actually is known to be a good talker. And they're letting everyone else talk instead of her. When you look at Madison Rayne, I didn't really care that much. I didn't care. Just like Velvet Sky. Mind you, what she did was a little bit better than what Madison Rayne did. Because saying, well, Terrence Terrell's kind of pissed off at me because I kind of grabbed her tighty-whities a little bit. Get over it. What we got to do. Does that mean they're going to turn Madison heel? We don't care that much about her heel turn. In fact, if you're going to measure her heel against her face turn is just slightly better. Her heel sucks. Her face doesn't suck as much. And the problem I saw with this entire situation was the match was too long. Madison Rayne should not be giving a... Havoc should be able to tear through these women really easily. I mean, they did it longer on Bound for Glory because they had to. But here with a Madison Rayne, yes, she's a 5-time champ, but she's no match for a Havoc. She should have been killed quickly. Not 6 or 7 minutes long. 2 or 3 minutes should have been the max. But Havoc won, and that's that. End. The next one I want to talk about is Matt Hardy versus Magnus. Now, Matt tried to do a promo. Magnus interferes with that, and this is a question for me because of how the show went. You got Magnus, who is with Bram at the moment. Bram dealt with what he did later in the night. But with Matt Hardy, I'm getting Jeff and Matt mixed up because I really didn't care that much about this interview. It did what it needed to do, try to give some dissension between Magnus and Bram, but that only works when you have them show it. And they did it a while ago, but then they dropped it. So, unless you're going to do something very substantial with this, it really made no sense. Really. I thought Magnus was better than this than Matt Hardy. Now, the match itself wasn't that bad. There was a little bit of interest. Seeing Matt Hardy get his back slammed against the ring, like the edge of the ring. That's a very hard surface, ladies and gentlemen. You can hurt yourself seriously on there. So... I was actually surprised he didn't get badly hurt. He got a lot of weight put in there. But why did Jeff Hardy win? Why not do this with Magnus? Create something that's going to force him to have a real feud with Matt Hardy, which we need something. And then the next, well, I'll give it to you like this. If Magnus won this week, they have a rematch. Jeff, I'm getting Matt and Jeff mixed up again. Get Matt winning this. Then showing some type of dissension between Bram and Magnus, it would have been better. Because if they rush this, it's going to suck more than it is already. And I'm sorry I got Matt and Jeff mixed up. I guess I didn't really want to care about this. Now, the thing that was funny to me, the Menagerie versus Bromance with Angelina Love. I still love me some Angelina Love. I know that probably most guys would say, dude, yeah, she's good looking in the face, but she got no damn body. She's got no ass. She got some tits. Yeah, she got some nice abs. She's not the most sexiest thing on the planet. Yeah, I know. But she still has this kind of look that just makes you go, huh? What the hell is that quality that I just want? That's what I get. Now, Rebel is wrestling again, and I said this a while ago that Rebel eventually would become a wrestler. I've said this before, I'm going to keep saying it. Rebel really is very green. She needed to go away and come back. Maybe she'll get a little bit better, but she's just too green right now. And it just, you can feel it. And I can say when it comes to Zema Ion, he felt it himself by smacking on the ass like that. I don't know why they were trying to do this. It was interesting to get her ass smacked in the ass. You know what I mean? Was this a funny match? When it came to Steve and Angelina Love, it was a little funny. When it came to the little ass smacking of a Zema Ion to a Rebel, it wasn't bad. But the thing that surprised me is Menagerie actually won. Think of it. Jobbers gotta once in a while put over a jobber for interest. Just to show that people could get what they wanted because they did cheer for the Menagerie. And what the hell happened to the freak, Rob Terry? Why wasn't he there? I'm just saying. But I'll give it to you like this. It was a little funny and I accept it for what it was. Now, the final match of the night, which was the #1 contender elimination match, a Rude Austin Aries. I don't know why Storm wasn't on the show. It would have been better with Storm there as well, but Rude Austin Aries, Eric Young, and Jeff Hardy. You know, it was kind of strange seeing this match because we've seen all 4 of them go up against Lashley. And I gotta say this, the opening of the show with Lashley and Kurt Angle was actually quite good. I'm glad they maintained a minimal time period with the GM of TNA. I'm glad they do that. You don't need to show the executive director of operations. I don't care whatever you call Kurt Angle. I'm glad he's in this capacity, and when he finally switches back to wrestling again, going against Bobby Lashley, I will not have a problem with it because they made sure he wasn't on the show all the time and it's in your face, which was good. Him calling everyone out to the ring saying these are the guys that are going to challenge each other, and in the end this is the guy that's going after your championship. I kind of wish it was done months ahead of time like the BFG series, which could have gone into Bound for Glory. I'm just saying. But the match was the match of the night. It was. I did enjoy it very much. Seeing that Robert Roode and Austin Aries were the last 2 made sense because those are best. They're the best option for TNA right now. And Robert Roode won it. But are they going to build up enough of an interest for me when they do have this match? If it's not next week, the week after that, which I kind of hope it's like that. I really hope that they build up to it. Give it 3 weeks, not a week. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's just my perspective. You guys tell me below. But in the end, if we're really lucky, they'll give a 2-week build. And maybe we'll have something more than just a repeat of last time. The last thing I'm talking about is the one I had to save. EC3 and Tyrus segment and then the match after that. Seeing Brodus Clay, I'll say this. I'm so glad this time around that when it came to Mike Tenay and Taz, they left out Brodus Clay's old name. Yeah, Mike Tenay said, oh, I know that guy. He said, and then Taz for once did something good. He said, no, 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 no. Don't say anything. You cannot say nothing. Leave it. And then they moved on and wanted to know the guy's name, and his new name is Titus. Tyrus. Whatever you want to call him. I don't care. I'm glad to see Tyrus being spotlighted this way. Now, was it a great spotlighting? It wasn't bad. In this situation, I think they needed someone else, but it wasn't 100% bad. It wasn't. And when it came down to it, I am very interested in seeing what Tyrus is going to be doing. Particularly now, well, before we start that, when it came down to it, EC3 won his match against Devon. He got counted out because he could not make it in the room because of Bram, which I'll talk about in a minute. But you see, EC3 still is the iconic American hardcore wrestler. I know it's out of sync, but I'm doing that because it was great. Bram had to come down and help him because he knows that he is the American icon, and we're talking about EC3, baby. Yeah. But in the end, after that is done, the most funniest part of the entire show for me, and I know I said the Menagerie was funny. It was to a point. This was the funniest part of Shark Boy versus Tyrus. And seeing Shark Boy on the couch. What the fuck? They really want to just make Shark Boy just as stupid and as funny as possible. And I gotta admit, it was funny to me. If it wasn't funny, I understand. But to me, it was funny seeing him like that. I enjoyed it. Seeing, well, what do you want? I'm hungry. I can turn it on anytime I want. Trying to eat it with a fucking mask. And then when the match started between him and Tyrus, he getting thirsty, stepping on the hands of the EC3, which you're not supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. Don't step on the one of the vendor's digits. That's something you don't do. Grabs the water and pours it on like he drank some fucking water through that fucking mask. It's so funny it makes me botch. In the end, Tyrus wins the match quickly and efficiently. That's the way it's supposed to be. And this is how Brodus Clay should have been utilized. He should have been a monster. Yes, he joked around in the beginning with EC3, yes. But when it comes down to, you gotta let the man be what he's meant. He's a fucking monster. So how do I feel about this show? Wasn't a good show. Storm wasn't there. Sonata wasn't there. I mean, we barely got any interest between Magnus and Matt Hardy. What the fuck is that? Then you're going to try and say Bram and Magnus is having a problem when Bram is now going to be dealing with who? Devon. He's saying he's the king of hardcore, dealing with an old ECW guy. That might be the wisest thing to do. Build Bram up for the ECW guys, which is going to be Devon. Then I think it's going to be Tommy Dreamer. Then maybe Bully Ray himself. Unless he's going to be dealing with, you know, Sonata and Storm. But that is how it went down. I really believe that this could have been a better show, 100%. But this is what we got. Now my last thoughts. I know a lot of people did not like Bound for Glory. I said in my original review of Bound for Glory that this is, from my perspective, more showing Japanese wrestling. And I know a lot of people saying, dude, TNA's doing shit. I saw the Sleg Daddy's video talking about TNA doesn't give a fuck about you and doesn't care about Bound for Glory. And he's right. I could see it 100% that there was no storyline. There was no character development. The guys who were talking didn't have really much interest. The only time when it got interesting for me when it came to commentary was Taz talking about his time in Japan when he used to go in the dojo. Other than that, the commentary did suck. And I'm not going to lie about the camera work as well. The camera work was terrible. And this is a Japanese promotion camera work, not TNA. But it was different, ladies and gentlemen. They left most of the work for Wrestle 1. And yes, it's a third-rate wrestling promotion in Japan. It's not, come on. New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's one of the biggest ones there. It is. And the great Samuda starting his own promotion is no different than Jeff Jarrett. Let's be honest. He's a mid-card piece of crap. But he started TNA that gave us an alternative. You could say the Great Muta is doing the same thing, even if he's nothing. His promotion, which is only supposed to be only 15 months old, could still become something later. And that's what I really took from it. Hearing that the Great Muta only just started a promotion less than 2 years ago. You never know What could be produced by someone who may not be great at wrestling, who may not been well known, but could produce something that could give us something different. And that's how I went into Bound for Glory. And this show kind of stems from it to a very small degree. But you can see that it's the same thing as how TNA got started. It is. Let's just hope TNA doesn't disappear in the next month. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. Tell me how you feel about the show and tell me how you feel about what I said. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. I'll be getting my debate of the week out as soon as possible, and it's going to be about, guess what? A reality TV show. I'm just saying. See ya!